everyone. We're here with Mr. Kopse, Deputy Assistant Director General of the Swiss Federal Office for Agriculture and a member of the One Planet Network. Hello, Mr. Kopse.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. And you, welcome.
Thank you, thanks.
We have a first question for you. So could you tell us a little bit more about the One Planet Network? When did it start? What's the main purpose and what do you plan to achieve?
With pleasure, thanks for having me. So the One Planet Network, the Sustainable Food Systems Program, as we call it, goes back to a conference that is called a Rio Plus 20 that took place in 2012 in Rio, I don't even remember where it was anyway. And so it was one of the follow-up conferences, big UN conferences. And one of the conclusions there was that we would need to have much more action in the area of sustainable consumption and production. However, food wasn't included there. So jointly with FAO and UNEP, Switzerland, we concluded that this should change. So we started to put together a working group of different stakeholders and developed and designed this Sustainable Food Systems Program that is now forms a part of this One Planet Network, as we call it today, which is really indeed a network within the UN, but includes also private sector, NGOs, academia. And this program that we are now co-leading, it was launched in Milano at the Expo Milano in 2015. And it is really about supporting, helping that shift, that transformation towards more sustainability in food systems, as food is such a dominant component of our everyday life. Changing the food systems, the way we produce food and we consume food has a big impact on the state of the planet and society. So if we get things right there, we do a lot. And that's kind of the purpose of that program.
Indeed. So it has a very particular structure, and also we would like to know what is specifically the role of Switzerland in all that.
Mm-hmm. So this program, it sounds very technocratic, but actually there's a kind of a living organism. It has many partners, 180 partners and more on the globe, so globally. And these partners, they come from all horizons. So small NGOs, farmers organizations, research, big UN organizations like FAO, for example, IFAD, and then some governments. And the role of Switzerland is kind of, if we could call it a herding the cats, so trying to bring all these people together. We are very much a facilitator, a convener. Together with WWF and Costa Rica, we co-lead this program. It used also, South Africa used to be in there, in the co-leadership team as well. It was replaced by Costa Rica, and we do that since the beginning of the program, 2015.
Amazing.
So we in a way, we try to facilitate, to convene, but we also help designing the agenda of this program, and we are also a little bit the ones who set the pace and who are behind the partners so that they deliver. It's, as I said, it's in a way, it's a leadership function, but it is also a function of just being there and providing a platform.
Well, congratulations. Sounds very, very challenging, and we're sure something great is going to come out of it. And today you're going to launch the third global conference of the Sustainability Food System Program. And what is it about, and what is the aim of this conference?
So it's the program as such, with 180 organizations, partners. It's important to meet and greet every now and then. So that's what we normally do. That's now the third a conference we have. It would have been a face-to-face conference in Thailand in order to also reach out to colleagues and organizations in Asia. Unfortunately, as so many, we had to shift into a virtual format, and we will start in about 1 hour, 20 minutes. This conference will start. And this time it is really devoted to making a contribution towards the UN Food Systems Summit that will take place next year. As you know, the Secretary General of the UN called for that summit, and we're lucky enough to be able to make a contribution to that. But the conference itself is about continuing to build a consensus about key concepts on food systems, on food systems transformation, and also to showcase best practices and help trigger the change on the ground that we need.
Well, all the best luck for that. And of course, we're
Thank
gonna
you.
be watching it. And also, in a few days, you're gonna host the first global dialogue for the Food System Summit. Could you maybe develop a little bit more? What is it about and what it entails?
Mm-hmm. So the special envoy for the summit, Agnes Kalibata, she declared that this summit should be a people's summit. It shouldn't be just about a nice declaration, but really try to bring people together to trigger action in really in the sense that we start or reinforce this transformation of food systems. And if you want to bring people together, you need to talk. You need to talk to different people. And these food system summit dialogues provide one of the possibilities of doing that. So our conference is honored to host the first global food system summit dialogue, where we bring together decision makers, people from different horizons, so academia, again, private sector, governments, international organizations, civil society, and we will discuss around a food systems transformation around these issues. So that's a very important part. That's kind of one platform we have. And this dialogue, the results of that dialogue, they feed directly into the preparatory process for the summit. But then we also have a Agnes Kalibata, the special envoy, with us. She will provide the opening speech today. And we have the scientific group, that is a group that accompanies the preparation of the summit scientifically. This scientific group will be represented in our own science, a segment session of the conference. That's at Otherlink. And finally, we are lucky to have all leaders of these action tracks of the summit around the table. They will be tasked to identify elements they will bring back into their action tracks. These action tracks are basically a thematic organization. How do they want to deal with all this, with the complexity of food systems? So there is an action track on safe and healthy food, one of shifting consumption patterns, one of providing a nature positive production, one is on improving livelihoods, and the last one is on building better resilience. COVID crisis, a pandemic tells us all. And so we are able to feed into these action tracks through the presence of the leadership of these action tracks. So I think it's a nice kind of the preparatory process of the summit is in early stages, and we provide one of the first, if not the first, a platform to actually feed into what should be discussed in 9-10 months time, something.
Sounds amazing, and we're really looking forward to attend it, although virtually.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's really a pity we can't meet all these guys face to face, but I think with a nice crowd that is virtually together and trying to work.
Amazing, super. So good luck for that as well. And more on a personal note, what do you think, or what do you believe actually needs really to change to achieve a more sustainable future for the food system?
There are, of course, different layers. If you want, there is a strategic a level where we need to think much more systemically, and not just try to deal with agriculture and forget about the rest. So really approach it in a strategic and systemic way. One of the most important things, if you talk about change, is bringing people together and developing a common base, developing a common language. So there is something that needs to change. we need more coherent and policies. We need responsible investment so that they fight, and with that also we need a true costing. So why is it that today the sustainable products are more expensive than the others? And so we need to try to change that. And then on the practical level, there are things we can do. We can start to reduce food waste. We can start to close, the circles in production. That's things we can start to do right away. I think what we need to bring also together is sustainable production and consumption much more. So we can't only ask the farmers to change. We as consumers, and I look at you, I look at me, we need to change as well. We need to make the real consumer choices. And maybe I think also there we need to be cleverer about how we talk to consumers. How do we get consumers to buy the good thing? So I think there we already can do with individual decisions. You make every day, I make every day what we eat, but also we need to put that in the whole picture and try to develop measures that help consumers make the right choice.
Thank you so much. And of course, that's we're trying to achieve somehow what you mentioned with our group of young change makers during our Bites of Transformation project. And we, as you mentioned, unifying people, putting people together from different backgrounds. That is what we're trying to do with this group of young, motivated people. And in this regard, what do you believe is the role of young people in this changement process?
I think young people have to contribute to the decision making. I mean, the future of the planet is yours, and a little bit still mine, but not so much anymore. So I think you need to be involved, and we need to be involved on different levels. We have a huge lack of young people working in food systems. That's one thing. So you need to, together with us, we need to find ways that young people reintegrate into food systems, into producing food, processing food, consuming food. I think what you need to do is really you need to challenge us in really pressing for more sustainability, in also leading the example. I notice a shift in consumption, particularly coming from the young. I think there it's where you at the moment have most influence, I think, and you have a huge convening power. And with all new technology, you have such a huge communication possibilities and change making possibilities which you should absolutely use. So it's kind of a, how should I say, you need to be engaged on different levels, and I'm really glad to understand that your event will exactly try to do that.
We are trying our best.
Excellent.
And maybe, of course, you're still young, but maybe is there something you would have liked to know when you were younger, and you think maybe it would have helped you possibly to be more active in changing the situation you were living back then?
Mm-hmm. So I think it would have been great to be aware of the complexities and interdependencies of food systems. I think we were just not so aware of that. It doesn't really matter too much to us. On the other hand, and we, when I was a teenager, in the early 20s, the forests died, rain was acid. If you were sunbathing, you had to be very careful because our fridges and other utilities, they destroyed the ozone layer. So there was all these environmental challenges were out there. And then came the Rio Conventions with the huge opportunities, huge hope that actually we will be able to deal with all these challenges. And unfortunately, we didn't have the communication and organizing tools you young guys have today. I think if we just didn't, end of the 80s, early 90s, there was no internet for that. So I think actually, had we had these tools at that time, I think our planet would be a better place today. So I think that's where I see, and I really talk to you, where I see you have such a huge opportunity with all the tools available, with all your knowledge you have, with all the networks you can create, and with this convening power, that you really have a huge opportunity to talk change and to walk the change we need.
Indeed, we do, and hopefully we are gonna make the best use of them and really playing an active role in changing the situation. And we talked about the past, and now maybe if you had to project yourself in the future, maybe 20 years from now, in a world that's going to be even more urbanized, with a population that is going to be even bigger, and where thanks to technological advances, we will have knowledge about everything related to our human bodies, and probably our nutrition is going to be much more personalized based on our needs. How do you imagine your alimentation is going to be, and specifically, how is your breakfast going to be like?
I think my breakfast won't change that much.
What do you have?
I mean, I have, what do we have? I have a little bit of bread, I have fruit, I have things like that. I have a coffee, I have water. So I think that kind of will be the same or very similar, but where it will be better, it will be healthier for me. It will be better for the planet. And I hope it will provide a better, more equitable livelihood for the people who produce it and who sell it to me. I think indeed we will live in a more urbanized world. Technology has this huge potential and will hopefully help us also overcome many challenges. But I do hope that we will live in a world where we value people living in rural areas, producing food for us, where we will have created a system where the vendor in a shop also, his or her salary is sufficient to live a decent life. So I think I look much more not so on me as an individual, what will have changed, that I will be old, and who knows. But I think if we achieve to transform food systems that also the marginalized can live a decent life, if they are involved in that, if they can nurture themselves healthy, then we achieved something. And for that, we need you. We need to be aware of much more people living in urban areas, indeed losing this connection to where the food is coming from. We're gonna have huge potential in technology, and we just need to find the right mix to make the transformation.
Well, sounds like a very promising future, and I really hope we're gonna all be leaving this situation in 20 years from now. Thank you so much, Mr. Kopse, for being here with us, and all the best for your conference this afternoon.
Thank you very much, and looking forward to knowing you among the audience of the conference, and all the best to your event. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.